is View from the Top. I'm Modele Sharafa Yusuf, and here's a warm welcome to you. Mrs. Ibukun Awosika is a multi-award-winning entrepreneur and founder and supporter of many organizations, including the Women in Business and Management and the After-School Graduate Development Center, which is a national career center in Lagos, which was set up in 2007 to address the high rates of unemployment in the country. Mrs. Awosika joins me on View from the Top today, and I thank her very much. Before we begin our conversation, here are a few more things I'd like you to know about Ibukun Awosika. Born into a middle-class family in November 1962, Ibukun Awosika holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Chemistry from the University of Ife, now Obafemi Awolowo University, and an MBA from IESC Business School, Barcelona, Spain. She's also an alumna of the Lagos Business School Chief Executive Program. A founder and chairman of the Chair Center Group, which is now in its 25th year, she was president of Women in Management and Business, WIMBIS, and has won many awards for entrepreneurship, including the Fate Model Entrepreneur Award and International Women Entrepreneurship Award. Mrs. Awosika sits on several boards, including the Convention on Business Integrity, Cadbury Nigeria PLC, First Bank Nigeria PLC, and FBN Life Assurance, and is a member of Lagos State University's Governing Council. She is also a fellow of the Aspen Global Leadership Network. Ms. Awosika, 65% of Nigeria's population are between the ages of 20 and 35, and as you once said, they can be an asset or a liability to the country. What can we do to tackle unemployment, which is clearly the biggest problem facing this demographic?
I think a number of issues. First and foremost, we have, and you need to categorize that age group to understand where you have the critical unemployment situation. If you categorize those that have been to school, you take the graduates out of that group. We're producing so many graduates on an annual basis because somehow we've managed to convince the whole nation that university education is all you need to be anything. And in the course of doing that, we've killed every other level in between. We've killed any pride that people will take in skills. We've killed pride that people will take in tutelage and apprenticeship along the line. And the promise that has been attached to a university education, we're not able to deliver on because it's almost impossible in any country for you to fully absorb people at such high level of education within the economy and assume that everything will be fine. So part of what we need to do is to go back to our educational system and create more pipelines from our educational system. Basic education that everybody should have is up to secondary school. See, part of our problem right now is really not that we're not creating jobs. We're creating certain jobs that Nigerians themselves are unable to take up. I mean, no matter how many houses we're building and the construction industry is booming, which it is, the jobs we create within the construction industry don't necessarily go to Nigerians. Go to any construction site and find out the best artisans are from the West Coast. The guys who do the painting, the guys who are in charge of all the plaster of Paris, POP, and all of those things, the guys who are doing the tiling. In fact, what happens is a lot of individuals building their private homes who are looking for a certain quality, are looking for the people from Togo, from Benin, from all of those countries who are skilled artisans who can deliver better value. And at the end of the day, check the dynamics of the income that those people make, and you will realize what we're losing. Two, in terms of our industries, the value chains have not been explored. Because within the value chain of any segment are a lot of opportunities for cottage industries. And it's only as you develop cottage industries or small and medium scale businesses that support larger businesses. We tend to focus more on the large multinational, but ultimately how many people do they employ? Even if it's like you looking at the financial sector, how many people work in the banks in total, even though they're such a major part of the economy in terms of what they control? The real value is in developing all those that service them to be part of the local economy and not come from outside.
I have also heard you say that parents struggle to get children through the higher institutions to emerge with degrees that are worth nothing. You clearly are saying that we are placing too much emphasis on paper qualification.
The way our educational system is structured, we don't have good career counseling along the path. So it's not like we have an organized way to identify where the real strengths of people lie. We sort of play it by the air. Parents follow tradition or what they like or their own unfulfilled ambition or the things they think are respectable. Yet, we're in a world right now where opportunities are so diverse. There's so many new areas of opportunities, new skills, new talents, new businesses, that parents cannot even begin to fathom. And yet, we insist that we put children in a box. We need to allow a lot more expression. And if you want to go into fashion industry, do you necessarily need a university degree to do it? After O-levels, if you decide you want to go to fashion school for 2 years just to learn the rudiments of that industry, why should anybody mind that you do? If you decide that what you really want is to set up a business in plumbing, do you need to be a civil engineer or some engineer to now go back into plumbing? We waste a lot of time chasing things that don't necessarily support what we then come back to. So if we are a little more flexible about the fact that a university degree is a tool, it can be useful in some instances, but it's not in all cases. And we shouldn't measure people just by that.
I get a sense that entrepreneurial spirit abounds, but what is holding people back?
Having an entrepreneurial spirit or an entrepreneurial desire without real knowledge to help you articulate what you sense or to help you put together what you want to do only guarantees that you fail and that you're discouraged. We don't have a structured system to support it. There are a lot of countries where you have what you call young enterprise. So from secondary school, a lot of young people are having opportunities to set up real companies, to run real companies, to take positions, different positions in a real business, to handle the whole process from start to finish. And it helps them to discover and to have ideas, because critical thinking is part of the education, it's not part of ours. So people are not taught to think things through. A lot of people take things on the surface and run with it before they actually look all the way. And because of that failing, they tend to fail at what they're trying to do. And a brilliant, capable, entrepreneurial mind gives up before he even has a chance to express himself because he hasn't been given the tools.
You mentioned capital now. Capital is often cited as a stumbling block to entrepreneurship. What has your experience taught you?
Well, in my experience, whilst capital is important in business, I don't think it's enough to stop you if you are passionate about what you want to do and you're driven to deliver on it. I also think that we tend to overemphasize what we think, over-provide for what we think we need at the onset. Generally,